What is up, geeks and geekettes? It's another episode of the Countdown to the Geekcast. My name is Steady, and with me on this episode is the man, the myth, the legend, you know him as GC.
Hey, everybody.
What's going on, man?
I'm good. Watching all the Olympics. A lot
You
of
could
that's
be
fun stuff
watching the
going on.
Olympics while we're on the show right now.
I know, but I'll get too distracted, and it's
Which
just me and you. So
which event is it actually?
The one that intrigues me always the most in the Summer Olympics is handball. It's freaking
Yes,
epic. Yes, it's
yes.
epic.
Listen, listen.
Yeah,
How do we not have an American men's team in handball? This is basically a backyard game. I could set it up outside in the backyard right now. We can get this done, right? We can put a team together, right? Right?
because our version has a lot less running and a lot more beer, and we're definitely not in Olympic shape for this kind of thing. So
I don't
I'm just
think we
saying.
need to be in Olympic shape.
No,
They don't run that much. It's a
have
lot
you
of.
seen Norway, Denmark, all these teams? They're pretty good, damn good at handball.
I don't know, man. I think we could take
Yeah.
him. I think we could take him. We get me, you, Joe, Jericho, Rob. Where you at, Rob?
It
Uh,
just looks
El-
like fun. I feel like the Olympics, and it's always fun for me every 4 years, or well, five in this situation. Whenever they come around for the Summer Olympics, I'm always looking for the sports you never normally see. It's like ESPN the Ocho, but for medals. You got handball, you got mixed doubles, table tennis. Just fun stuff like that. Water polo, you enjoy that. Like at the Winter Olympics, I'm watching curling because curling is awesome. Sweep, damn it. Yeah. So,
which is just a bigger sort of with shuffleboard game that you
shuffleboard,
got up
yeah.
at a bar. I'm
Pretty
I'm
much.
pretty good at that, so I feel like
Yeah.
I could take care of that as well.
You just got to
I'm
do it
gonna
on ice. So
I'm
that's
gonna
okay.
pose that question out to everybody. What's up? Let us know which Olympic events you're watching. We have a great show for you guys. This is our weekly show. If you're just joining us for the first time, we are the Geekcast. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff at CCG underscore podcast on Twitter. There you go, down below, right there. And
Ted's
uh,
showing off that he knows how to do this stuff, basically. That's why he's calling this
and if you're
out.
if you're not already watching us on Facebook, find us on Facebook at Countdown to the Geekcast, right
Yeah.
there. So listen, we have a great show because I am excited. We are talking about San Diego Comic Con panels. Not a lot. Listen, not a lot. Unfortunately, there's not like a great number of great panels to choose from anymore. A lot of the studios do their own thing.
Mhm.
We're already like midway through seasons for like Rick and Morty and other shows. I don't know. All the big movies are either already out or the studios are holding back on releasing trailers. So there wasn't a ton of great, incredible content for this year's San Diego Comic Con at home because this is the second year that we're all celebrating at home. But we're going to be talking San Diego. Most importantly, my favorite panel that I got a chance to watch was the Dexter panel, the rebooted Dexter series. After 9 long years, we finally get the return of one Dexter Morgan. So, spoiler alert if you haven't watched Dexter, also JC, apologies. And we're also going to talk
Sorry.
about some geeky weekly headlines, as well as our friends over at CelebFanFest. We are just a week and a half away from the start. I'm
No,
sorry.
this
We are
weekend.
just
Yeah,
we are just
I
four
know.
days away from the start of Celebrity Fan Fest, and we want to make sure you guys know which celebrities are coming, where it's at, when is it going on, what to expect. And we're going to answer as many questions as we can because we've been to a couple of these already, and we just had a blast every single time. But first, we're going to talk about San Diego Comic Con, and I'm going to start out this show talking about my favorite panel from San Diego Comic Con at home, and that is the panel for Dexter. Dexter, which has been one of my all-time favorite shows. The first four seasons are absolutely magnificent, and then we got a little bit of a change up because some of the original showrunners left, some of the original writers left, and they started taking some liberties with the characters and the storylines and stuff. And the fans didn't really, it didn't really resonate well with the fans. And so, if you watched it, you probably didn't like how it ended. You didn't like some of the arcs that the characters had. You didn't like some of the characters that died. You wish it would have ended differently for some folks. Oh man, I every time I think about the certain way that a few things went down, it just kind of makes my blood boil, and it makes me like get into this really depressed sort of attitude because there were some things on that show that were just crazy and absurd towards the end of the season.
To be
Last
clear, you're
season,
talking about Dexter and not Game of Thrones because it seems like whenever we mention Game of Thrones, it sounds very similar.
you know
You
what?
know?
I'm willing. No, definitely Dexter, right? And what's funny
Okay.
is that I was way more committed to Dexter. I was like way more engaged with it. And Game of Thrones, you sort of slowly, episode by episode of that last season, started like backpedaling because you're like, oh, this is getting weird. Oh,
Mhm.
is that a Starbucks cup? Oh, you started like backing off a little bit. So
Mhm.
let's just say I was way more invested in Dexter, and you had high hopes leading all the way to the very last episode. You had high hopes all the way to the last episode. Game of Thrones, not the case at all. You were like, it's not going to end well, and you knew that from like midway through the last season. So it wasn't the same at all by any means.
Yeah.
Anywho, real quick, I'm going to talk about Dexter and JC. This shouldn't be too many spoilers, but if you didn't get a chance to check out the Dexter finale, we are actually going to, sorry, the Dexter panel for San Diego
Mhm.
Comic Con. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about it. Just a couple of highlights, some things that we learned. First of which, the rebooted series is going to take place in the present day, so 9 years after the original finale, and it is set in a fictional town in upstate New York. Um,
So they're not retconning anything, or they just kind of going where it left off, or what are they doing?
it's where they left off, but present day. So like the show
Okay.
ended 9 years ago. Our
Mhm.
character, we're following him 9 years later. So that's kind of where we're at right now.
Okay. I was wondering if they're going to retcon anything because that's. I remember y'all talking about it in the mid discussing they might do that, like retcon
It
a whole last season apparently. But
it was something. Who was wanting them to do that? Somebody said
probably
that.
Mike, probably Mike because he also wants
Maybe
to show. I think.
maybe it was Mike.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, definitely not. They're not retconning everything. Everything that happened in the last season of Dexter is still canon, and they're just going to take follow up with the character 9 years later. And we're gonna actually watch the trailer, the teaser trailer, pretty soon. So stay with us, and we'll check that out here in just a bit. Michael
Okay.
C. Hall, who plays Dexter, he just describes Dexter as moving to this little town as a self-imposed punishment where he's trying to abstain from killing. We all know that Dexter has this dark passenger, if you will, and removing him from his hometown, from all of that, and this is sort of him exiling himself, and that's where we actually last saw him when the original series was still around. JC, don't worry about this part because like it's a spoiler, but like
It's hey,
it's the
look.
worst. It's the worst.
First of all, the show is how many years old now? And if I haven't seen it by now, it's my fault if I get spoiled on it. It's fine.
It's all good.
Sorry. Yeah.
Like I'm spoiling the worst parts of the
Okay.
series. Everything that I'm not mentioning is uphill from here. So yeah.
Mm.
What else? Oh yeah, fictional town in upstate New York. It kind of looked like he was in sort of the greater Northwest, Oregon, Washington State, something like that. But no, turns out he is still somewhat on the East Coast, and that's where we're catching up with him. He's already in somewhat of a committed relationship. It's been 9 years. I guess we don't expect the guy to be single forever.
Mm.
With a woman who's also in law enforcement. So um, interesting that a guy who would be on the run, so to speak, was a wanted felon, would shack up with a police officer, but
Mhm.
maybe it's for information. I guess I wouldn't put it past him, and I could see that being a somewhat of a plot point later on. Who knows? And then, last but not least, and this is going to be some very strong verbiage here, the the co-creator showrunner of the original series calls the ending of this new season well, he promises it to be stunning, shocking, surprising, and will blow up the internet.
Hmm.
That's some strong words there.
So
What
it
say
doesn't
you?
really reveal if this is the only season he's going to do. There's a potential he
This is
could
the
do
only
more
one.
as of right now.
No, no, no. This is the only one. They listen. Um,
Yeah.
you need to imagine, because you've seen Game of Thrones, right, all the way
Hmm.
through. You need to imagine like them trying to fix the show. They're not going to try to do more than one season. They just want to like, let's put some duct tape on it and like fix it up a little bit, put some makeup on it and throw it out there. They just want
Right.
one last hurrah, put it all on the table, go all in, and then try and get it right for the fandom. And that's really all it is. They This is just their shot at redemption. This is not, they don't have a long term plan here. I mean, I'm not going to throw a spin off out of the question, but I don't know what that looks like, because from where we used to be, from where we are, he is totally removed from everything we once knew. This is like a whole new country to this character. He's completely out of his element. He's a fish out of water, so to speak. And everything that we are now surrounded in, the environment, the people, the town, is just completely alien to him. So it's very unusual, but very interesting all at the same time.
Okay.
Lastly, Michael C. Hall, who's a fantastic actor. I really wish he was doing a lot more work than what he is, but I'm still glad he's doing the series. The coolest thing he said was, some of the moderator for the panel for this San Diego Comic Con panel asked him, how was it getting back into the psyche, the skin of Dexter Morgan, and he said it was strange. It was strange that it wasn't weird. If that doesn't make any sense, it means he just really fell into it again. He had been so removed from this character for almost a decade, and yet when it came upon him to get back in front of that camera, get back into the mind space of one Dexter Morgan, it felt like he had never been away from the character. And I think that's just the coolest thing ever for him to say that.
It's like riding a bike, basically. Kind of, as they always say, you did it for so many years, you just kind of call upon it.
And
I
it's
mean,
such, but it's such a dark character. Like, you're not
mhm.
supposed to say that
I
when it
get that,
comes
but
to
I
being.
mean, the Friends reunion. What's her face? Lisa Kudrow had no problem getting back into Phoebe mode when they were doing the table reads.
That's
She was
true.
all that. So it's just one of
That's
those
true.
things. It's always there. You know.
But is Lisa Kudrow really that removed from Phoebe Buffay? Like, let's be honest here.
Maybe not, but So
Well, listen, we have a trailer to watch. I'm gonna cue this up. We're gonna check it out, and then we'll discuss it again, and then we'll move on to some other panel talk. All right.
all right.
Here we go. Just a second. I still have.
Ted's trying to figure this out here.
Hang on one
Well,
second. Ah, there it
it
is.
lines up his shot like we're playing golf here, and
Oh, come on. Hang on one second. Nope, that's not it. That's not it.
live stream, everybody. Here we go.
And here we go.
All right.
So, how are you feeling right now?
Well, it's been a whirlwind. I've always had my demons, and so I went away.
What's up, Jumbo? Hey, Mr. Lindsay.
But sometimes I have an urge too strong to ignore.
Whoa!
noisy there.
What is the problem?
Yeah, I kind of have a thing about blood. Every day I walk through this world, faking it. Knowing if someone knows who I am, that's it. This is all about blending in.
Oh
All
man,
right.
how
Witness
about
protection program,
that?
Dexter. How about that? Yeah.
No, it's not. It's the
I know. I know.
opposite. But yeah, it's the opposite. It is Dexter on the run. It is the biggest fugitive in the United States. Dexter, relax, man. Let's see. It's after all this time he's been on the run, and there's a lot to unpack in that trailer. So, as I mentioned earlier, he's in this fictional town in upstate New York, and you see everybody, being very friendly with him and all that stuff, and he knows everybody's name. It's
Right.
because the town is so small. There's probably like 10, 15,000 people in this town. And that's good for him because A, it means he can sort of keep his ear to the ground whenever um, there's murmurs about, the serial killer might have escaped to out of state. And also, if it's a small town, maybe they don't really focus on, I don't know, social media or the national news, stuff like that. Then
Yeah.
maybe it's easier for him to lay low as opposed to like a big major metropolitan city. He is on the run from Miami, and he's in this
Yeah.
this tiny tiny town. But there's a lot in there, and it's exciting, but it's also a little scary as a fan because
Mm.
you didn't know how the show was going to end before, but you know now the show has to end. Like you're coming back to make sure there's nothing left on the table,
Right.
and that's a little frightening. Um, you need to watch it, and I'm actually would be excited for you and Tina to get together and binge this thing. It used to be on Netflix. I don't think it is anymore. But
Well,
if you decide
unless
to,
Showtime has the whole library because we have access to Showtime. But I mean, I don't know.
they absolutely do, man. They
Yeah.
absolutely do. And you have until November, so
Damn.
plenty of time to watch it,
You do
and
know
you
the
won't
challenge is starting
be.
in about a month. You do know that, right?
I'm telling you, no matter how good the challenge is, it won't be as good as this.
I wouldn't say that. This one looks really good.
I would totally say that.
Yeah.
Couple more panels to talk about, and I will throw the question out there. What did you think?
I'll say this when it comes to San Diego Comic Con. I literally had no idea it was already this soon because I feel like we didn't get any sort of advertising for it, no sort of marketing for it. It seemed to just kind of sneak up on us. So,
It
and that
really
that
did.
was very weird because even last year, obviously this all was still going on, and we knew when San Diego Comic Con was happening. They still advertised it. This one seemed pretty quiet, and that was kind of surprising to me. So when you said they were talking about panels, I was like, I had no idea San Diego Comic Con was going on. So,
It's well, I'm my thoughts about this is there's like not a lot of advertising, right? And then
mhm,
everything is published on YouTube, so it's not like they're throwing a lot of dollars at streaming anything. This is all pre-recorded stuff that they're just
right,
uploading, and it's not on like their own website. They're not using some grand conferencing service to do any of this stuff. So I think for them, it's been 2 years without a legit convention for them. Maybe they're just trying to penny pinch at this point. They don't. There's not any money out there for advertising really because they haven't generated any income in quite a while. So
right.
I think for them, it's all about just trying to maintain as best as they can. And yeah, it it did come very quickly, and as I mentioned, no big studio announcements. There's no Marvel. There's no DC. There's no DC movies, right? We're not talking
Hmm.
about the grand panels that they used to have before. So the best we get is, Dexter, Rick and Morty, your favorite show, GC.
I have no idea. I
Um,
wonder. I wonder if Disney and Marvel even going to make appearances from now on because Disney seems to want to do its own thing. You know, they the whole investors thing where they announced so many of what they had planned for.
yeah,
That kind of got their own thing. So yeah.
absolutely. I think. Listen, I am still waiting for Disney or Marvel Studios to go ahead and put together their own weekend long presentation.
Hmm.
DC has Fandom, hugely successful last year. It's rolling up this October is when it comes back again. Marvel has done something similar. They once did their own sort of press. Um, what you call it, press event where they rented out a theater, they streamed everything, and that's where they revealed like Captain America: Civil War and maybe Infinity War. I think is also where they first dropped that hint or that tease.
Okay.
So I could see them doing that again, but on a larger scale. Do what DC does. I mean, DC fandom was incredible. We all loved it. They saved all the good content for that, and I think they're doing that again this time around. I think Marvel should do the same thing. If not, the investor days, those do work as well. It's probably best for Disney if they save all that content for their investor day presentations, but give something to the fans. I think the fans, they've been going through all these trying times as well during this pandemic. So I
Yeah.
really hope Disney figures out a bigger, more fan engaged event going forward.
Uh,
Other panels. I also checked out the Rick and Morty panel. Not a lot of content though, because we're already like midway through the fifth season right now. So if you're watching Rick and Morty this season, I think the best way to describe this season would be extremely horny. I think is the best way to describe it. It seems like every episode we're just going further and further down that highway, and it's hilarious. Don't get me wrong, it's absolutely hilarious. But yeah, it's getting pretty out there like it always does. Dan Harmon was there, Chris Parnell, a few of the voice actors. Not a whole lot. They really are just talking about sort of the dynamic of the family, a few of the new characters that we've seen, King Nimbus and stuff like that. So, but not a whole lot of new content, no trailers of any kind. Really, just a really fun discussion with the voice actors as well as the co-creator Dan Harmon.
Okay.
Um, and then the last panel I'll talk about only because it's not the greatest thing anymore, but I am committed to finishing and seeing this play out. Is The Walking Dead. If you've been listening to our show
Mhm.
almost 6 years now, we talked The Walking Dead heavily early on, and The Walking Dead is now coming up on its final season, the 11th season. Yes, this is the last one. I think it's going to be around 20, 22, 24 episodes, and there's going to be some more spin-offs for sure, but I'm going to see this through. And there was a very long extensive trailer. There's no way to talk about all the things that were happening in that trailer because there's 50 characters all doing
Right.
stuff, different stuff. But it the formula is a little repetitive. That's one of the downfalls of the show is like, how do you make surviving an apocalypse with zombies interesting again when you're fighting another enemy? Like there's another clan, another group of survivors trying to kill you, and you're also trying not to get eaten. That formula, it's hard, it's challenging to keep making that fresh and creative, but
Right.
they're doing their best, and I'm gonna see this through. I give it a chance. I think there's some interesting stuff out there. The character dynamics are always great. They're always the characters are written very well. So I'm excited to see what they do this last season. I'm not excited in the sense that I can't wait to see how the show ends. Like it's not that at all whatsoever. But it is going to be interesting to see where the show goes from here. It'd be crazy if they just like killed everybody. That's a great way to end the show. I
And that's
know
the
they
way to
would
make sure there's
do it.
no reunion special either. Just to, we're done. No, we're not going
Yeah,
to 10 years later or something like that. So
we're done. Look, they had a
yeah.
good run. It's the zombie apocalypse. Not everybody's going to survive and
Mhm.
live happily ever after. Maybe they solve it? No, they wouldn't do that, would they?
It's been this long. I mean, got to do something.
That'd be interesting. It's never crossed my mind that maybe they would come up with a cure, come up with a way to, reverse the disease that turns people into walking zombies after they've passed. So maybe that's a thing they try and do. That would be insane, by the way. That'd be dope. I can't see that happening. That'd be pretty dope. Anywho, we want to hear from you guys. If you had a chance to check out San Diego Comic Con at home, what was your favorite panel? What are some of the panels that interest you the most? Our buddy Jonathan Graves over at of course you
I
realize
realize
Means
this means podcast.
podcast.
Yes.
I said that's what I said.
Yeah.
I actually forwarded him the Looney Tunes panel. I don't know if he was aware of it, but there was a modern Looney Tunes panel by WB. So I sent it over to him. I asked him for his thoughts. He hadn't got back to me yet, but
Mm.
shout out to Graves. And yeah, so we want to hear from you guys. Let us know what you think. Next up is a little bit of news regarding Celebrity Fan Fest. If you're not aware, Celebrity Fan Fest is probably at the moment one of the largest comic conventions in South Texas, and by far one of the most impressive lineups. Uh,
Mhm.
probably, probably in the state. I'd say top two or three for sure. And this year is no different. They are going to be having their convention starting this Friday, July 30th, and it's going to run all the way through August 8th. That's right, 10-day convention. It's going to be on the grounds of Six Flags Fiesta, Texas. It sounds strange, but they
Mhm.
reserve a good size area for the convention. It's mostly outdoors, but some of the better well-known celebrities are going to be sort of in enclosed areas or tented areas. So that'll be the difference. If you have a Six Flags season pass, you can purchase a discounted ticket to the convention, which is fantastic because a lot of
Very
people have.
nice.
Yeah, right. If you do not have a Six Flags pass, when you purchase a ticket to Celebrity Fan Fest for either one day or the whole thing, however you want to do it, I think there's also 2 and 3 days. Your ticket is also good for access to the theme park. So go check out the convention. Whenever you're done, go check out the theme park, ride the roller coasters. There's some great ones.
Mhm.
Check out a show or two. Check out the water park. Like this is going to be a great time to commit to a fantastic family weekend, and you have all the amenities of the park. Right? You can't complain about there's not enough bathrooms at the convention. No, it's a theme park.
Mhm.
There's 100 bathrooms. There's nowhere to eat. Sometimes the concession stands at conventions there's like five, and it's not enough. So
Well,
you have plenty of places to eat at Six Flags Fiesta Texas.
kind of expensive, but you have places to eat. Yeah, for sure.
You have
So
places to eat. Ooh, and you could just do what you normally do when you go to the theme park. Just like take a nice chest, throw some food in there, like put it in the car, go to the thing, come back, eat, learn,
yeah.
all that stuff. Yeah.
And if you're like me, where you have dietary restrictions, yes, you are allowed to take a small little like lunch bag and maybe some like snacks. Like for myself, for example, sit the chips. You have to put them in like some sandwich bags. They do let you bring that in through the entrance when they run through the whole detectors and everything. But just so you know, check the website if you have any sort of dietary restrictions for that. They do have that information on there, and you are allowed to bring a couple things in too. So,
Awesome.
yeah. Mhm.
And if you haven't already heard about the guest list at Celebrity Fan Fest, JC, why don't you go ahead and pop off some of those top guests?
Well, especially that first weekend, Owen Wilson, Ewan McGregor, Hayden Christensen are going to be there that first weekend. That's pretty much the big main event there that first weekend. Ray Fisher will be there from the 4th through the 6th of August. Tyler Hoechlin, Elizabeth Tulloch will be there August 2nd and 3rd. Middle of the week, but if you want to meet Superman and Lois, especially right before the last 2 episodes are set to finish out season 1, they're going to be there. Freddie Prinze Jr. will be there August 4th through 8th. Kristen Ritter from August 6th through 7th. There's a lot. There's a lot to go for. Yeah. It's just some that stick out for me. Karen Ashley, a.k.a. the second Yellow Ranger from the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, will be there July 30th through August 1st, that first weekend. Dante Basco, a.k.a. Rufio from Hook, August 3rd through August.
Rufio.
A little keeping on the Power Rangers theme. David Fielding, was Zordon, July 30th through August 1st. He'll be there. And
Rangers.
Of course, and at the same time, Austin St. John, the original Red Ranger, will be there too as well. There's a lot. And check out pmxevents.com for all the details who's going to be there, how you can purchase photo ops, 10 panels. They don't have the panel schedule out yet. I think that should be coming very, very soon. But check out how you can buy photo ops, autographs, things like that too. So
there's a shot there of the guest list. I know the smaller print is a little hard to read, but fantastic lineup, especially a guy like Owen Wilson, who he doesn't do these, right? This is probably his first, and he
I think
just
it is. Yeah.
he's just coming off arguably the biggest Marvel series ever in Loki. So like, and it's also one of the most sort of confusing Marvel series ever. And I'm gonna feel bad if the fans are asking him all these tough like multiverse questions because he knows nothing, folks. On the set of Loki, Tom Hiddleston would sort of run down the entire like history of Loki and Marvel. So don't throw any like hard hitting Marvel MCU questions because he won't know anything. So yeah, give the guy a break.
And I wonder how he's going to play some of those questions off, just kind of have fun with it. So, yeah.
Absolutely, man.
Ask him about Wedding Crashers 2 or something. That could be fun.
Please.
Yes.
Are they doing that?
I don't know. It's been rumored for a while. Who knows? So
there you go. Hey, listen, before we get to our geeky weekly headlines, I just want to say so if you have any questions about Celebrity Fan Fest, I'm going to let you know. Go to their Facebook page at Celebrity Fan Fest. Throw your questions at them. They answer really quickly, surprisingly. Not to say that they shouldn't, but I see people getting their questions answered all the time. And if you have any more, go to pmxevents.com and you should have everything you need to know there by all means. Check out the FAQ page and then be sure and check out the prices, the autographs, the photo op prices. I mean, everything is different. It's really like pay for what you want and none of what you don't need. So, I highly recommend it. And I'll throw a question out to you. I think I've asked this before, but what was sort of your favorite moment or two moments at past Celebrity Fan Fest events? You've had a few, I think.
Oh boy. Well, for me personally, they allowed me to interview, and I don't know if this was was this a full event or just kind of like no, this was one of like the little side events they had, but getting to talk with Helen Slater. And I don't know if I've told this story on the show, but before, she's gracious enough to allow us to go into the little green room that they have when that's their time away from people. but they were nice enough to let us back there and just have a little interview with her, which is cool. And I got to shake hands and say hi. Quick discussion with Brendan Fraser.
That's right.
Don't know if I told you this, but really nice guy. I told my wife Tina this. She was so jealous because she loves Brendan Fraser. She was so mad that she didn't get to meet him, but got to shake hands with him. And I just told him real quick, "Hey, I'm loving Doom Patrol. I really think you're great in it." And he's like, "Man, that show is just really out there, isn't it?" That was his response to me. So he's definitely one of the nicest guys. But God, it's hard to believe it's been 2 years ago since we last had a full-on Celebrity Fan Fest. But having Hernandez hang out with us that first day there, getting to interview him for the WrestleCast, and just making a whole weekend of it there with the booth, that was a lot of fun too. It's a blast. There's so much to see there. You can't see it all in one day for sure.
No.
Just to experience it all, you kind of need a whole weekend. Now they're giving you a whole week to do it. So, but those really stick out for me. First off,
There you go. I think that I mean, you probably already know mine. Mine is definitely interviewing Ernie Hudson, the great
Yeah.
Ernie Hudson, and it just so happened to be the day that I was wearing my Ghostbusters outfit because I have my own
Yeah.
jumpsuit. Of course, I do. And and it also just so happened to be the day he was wearing his jumpsuit. He was
Yeah.
only wearing his jumpsuit one day at a past Celebrity Fan Fest event. I was also wearing my jumpsuit that very same day, and it was the day I got to interview him, and we talked for about a good 10, 12 minutes, and I asked every question I could in that time frame, and he's wonderful. He was a great sport, answering all my questions. He had great answers, by the way. I asked him about everything from The Crow to the new Ghostbusters Afterlife movie. I'll talk more about that in a second. And he was fantastic. And we got a lot of great responses from fans. It was the first time that he had mentioned he was in talks to join the new movie,
But he
and that
hadn't
was
signed anything yet at the time. That was the other
he
thing.
he hadn't.
No.
He had not. No.
Yeah.
And it was the first time that anybody had heard from him regarding the new movie. Murray hadn't said anything yet. I think Aykroyd and Sigourney were the only ones, and maybe Annie Potts. I think Aykroyd, Sigourney Weaver, and Annie Potts were all like, "We're doing it. We're in." And poor Ernie was like, "Nobody's asking me anything." But I asked Ernie, so we broke that story, and it actually caught fire a little bit because other than Dan Aykroyd, nobody else had heard from him or Ernie or Murray. So yeah, broke that story, and it caught wind at a lot of scoop sites and websites and stuff. So yeah, that was pretty exciting. That was my favorite interview. And then also, listen, I got to throw out Ray Fisher there too, because Ray, he was also amazing to interview, and we talked a lot about Cyborg, and this is way before we thought the Snyder Cut was ever going to get made or released, should I say, finished and released.
It's strange to think about that interview. I'm sure, knowing now what we know now about all that,
No.
there's probably a lot more he wanted to say.
Oh, sure.
And he bit his lip and didn't say anything about it. We ask him now, he'll say whatever. So I'm kind of hoping we get to talk to him again just to say, hey, you were great in the Snyder Cut. You helped make that movie what it should be, and maybe just get a full insight on it too. That maybe, I mean, obviously there's stuff that he could say that he hasn't already said yet, but I don't know if anyone's ever interviewed him since the movie's come out, and how much of a relief it might be for him that the movie finally got released.
Yeah, definitely. I would love to talk to him again. Ray, if you're out there, I'm coming for you, man.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
I should also note the same Celebrity Fan Fest you got to talk to Ernie Hudson. I believe it was the same one that they had a WWE panel with Daniel Bryan, Becky Lynch, and I think Finn Balor was the third.
Finn.
And Daniel Bryan was full on in character. He was a heel at the time, and it was so good. I think we've been the only people that got a full video of that panel, and it's on our YouTube channel. Still gets hits, still gets comments. It was really that good, and it's interesting now, considering that one of those three may be signing with a rival company, or may have already put pen to paper. we'll be discussing that tomorrow on the WrestleCast. So check us out on the Counter City Geeks YouTube channel. There's a lot to talk about, even though there's no pay-per-view in the next week or so. There's a lot of wrestling news to talk about that Mike, myself, and Tommy will be discussing. So,
You guys have a ton of stuff to talk about.
yes. It's like they just don't give us a break. Like, hey, we got a few weeks before a wrestling show. We got to talk about a pay-per-view. No, let's just jack it up a bit. So, so there's a lot.
Absolutely. Awesome, sir. Well, look, that is the news on Celebrity Fan Fest. Oof.
You having fun there? You find some breaking news or something or what?
No, I'm wondering if we'll figure it out. We'll see what happens. Showtime might not have liked us sharing that trailer. We'll find out later on.
Uh-oh.
It's all right. Let's see here. That was the news on Celebrity Fan Fest. Be sure to check out PMX events.
It's fair use, Showtime. We're discussing it, okay?
Fair use.
Fair use.
Showtime.
Yeah. We didn't say anything bad,
Absolutely
so.
not. Yeah, exactly. What's it called? So yeah, we will be there on site, Celebrity Fan Fest, mingling with the fans, talking with the celebs, eating the funnel cakes, getting on some rides. Right,
Yeah.
JC?
The rides maybe. Okay. Have you been on the Golden Lasso, Wonder Woman Golden Lasso
I
yet?
have not. I
Okay.
have not been on Six Flags ride in about 3 years.
Okay, first of all, that is the best roller coaster at that park.
Ooh, okay.
In the history of the park, I will say. And I'm talking better than the old school Rattler when it was first made, when you walked away with aches and back pains, but it was worth it. But the Golden Lasso is amazing. And even the setup when you're waiting in line, really great, like Themyscira look to it. It's really awesome, especially if you're a fan of Wonder Woman. They got the statue out there too. I thought I was really going to miss the power surge when it went away because it's been there since the park opened. I remember when it would open pre Six Flags era. But Wonder Woman Golden Lasso is really awesome. A lot of fun. Very unique kind of a ride too. So if you haven't ridden it yet and you're going to Celebrity Fan Fest and you're tall enough and all the other restrictions are in place, if you're not pregnant or whatever, go check it out. It's a really awesome ride and it's so much fun. Worth the wait in the line too. So
I'm down. I'll do it. If I have
Yeah.
time, maybe I'll get on the Rattler. I've been on the Rattler in ages.
I actually
I know
haven't been on
it's-
since it's the Iron Rattler, actually. So
I
haven't
think
been
I got on once when it was the Iron Rattler, but I feel like they still make changes to it, and so I don't know what the current conception is all about. So
Yeah.
I got to check that out. Yeah, that's the news on Celebrity Fan Fest. Let's get to some other news because there's some other major news that dropped today, and maybe JC will like this one or not. We'll find out.
We'll find out.
In a major deal, Universal Pictures and the Peacock streaming service have purchased the rights to the Exorcist franchise. This deal cost $400 million, and it will allow them to develop a new trilogy that includes Ellen Burstyn, who played the mother of Reagan in the original film. The first film of the trilogy is expected to be released October 13th, 2023. I'm assuming that's a Friday the 13th in October.
Probably.
Probably so.
Yeah.
JC, your thoughts on not just a new Exorcist trilogy, but one that's remaining within canon of the original film?
My thoughts are Peacock is really trying to play catch up now because they put a lot of money into WWE and they need to start building some more stuff. They have the Lost Symbol series coming out pretty soon. I'm interested in seeing that. The whole Da Vinci Code, Angels and Demons, and all that.
That looks interesting. Yeah.
That does look really interesting too. But Peacock has a good lineup, a lot of like the historical stuff, but not a whole lot of original programming that they need to kind of build up. And this is a good way for them to do that. But I'm curious to see what else, what are the franchises they could come about with it. For me personally, and the writer, creator of the Purge series has said he had more TV stories to tell for this TV series. Why not throw them on the Peacock network? That is another Universal property as well. They had this series on USA, which is owned by NBC, so
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind them continuing the TV series on Peacock. But from what I hear, he's already writing and he's pretty much got a concept already for the next Purge movie. Based on where this one ended and so much feedback he got, he figured he had another story to tell. So let's see. Let's see what else the series is not over as we know it yet. So
That franchise has gone on a lot longer than I thought it was going to.
the funny part is, and I saw an interview with oh God, I forget how to say it. James Monaco. I forget. I apologize if I destroy his name, but he never knew it was going to be as big as it was. He made one movie, said this can be a one and done, and it made so much money, and people had so many ideas. He just wrote a whole lore about it. And the Forever Purge, it's very this. You're saying horror movies that they breaks all the rules. This one definitely broke all the rules of the Purge. So one night's not enough, and I won't spoil it, but this one definitely gets. It's the most political of the series, but because there's so many parallels to what the world is right now. And it's set 8 years after Purge election year. So if you're a fan of the series and you're wondering how in the hell the Purge is still alive after election year, go watch. They kind of explain at the beginning, and it gets pretty crazy. So I'm not sure how I feel as far as if it's one of the best or not, but the way it ends is pretty shocking, I think. I was not expecting it to end the way it did. So. But that's a discussion for another time. Maybe if Ted ever sees it, I don't know if he's got to catch up on the series or not. But
I think I only have one to watch.
Which one? This
The
one,
last one. Yeah,
Forever
the last
Purge. Okay.
one. I think I've seen all the other ones, and I haven't started the TV show. Sorry.
Well, I will. First of all, the Forever Purge is already on demand services. Even it still
Done.
has a theatrical run. It's already on pay on demand services. As far as the TV series, I mean, that really expands on a lot of the lore and a lot of how the world is outside the Purge, especially in the second season. And I think there's some little things in the Forever Purge that if you watch the TV series, you kind of would understand why things are happening because they kind of encompass that a little bit. But I think the TV series is definitely worth watching, just if you're a fan of the franchise. So.
I'm down, man.
Yeah.
My thoughts on The Exorcist. I'm pretty excited about it. I never got into the sequels of The Exorcist. Might have been one, maybe two sequels, but the original, by far, one of my favorite horror films of all time. It's been years since I've seen it. I probably need to go back and go through it again. It's been a while since I've seen it, and but I am excited to see what this one could be like with technology, how it is today, what the story could revolve around. I already know this for a fact. It will be developed and directed by David Gordon Green, who's the director of the current Halloween trilogy, and he's also written that trilogy and developed it with names escapes me, Danny McBride,
Oh,
and Danny
interesting.
will also be a part of this trilogy as well. So Danny and David, the team that brought you the current Halloween trilogy, will also be developing the upcoming Exorcist trilogy. And listen, they gave a breath of fresh air to the Halloween franchise, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And I cannot wait to see what they do with the Exorcist franchise. I think they have some good, creative, innovative ideas, and they're really just getting better with every movie. I do think Halloween Kills is going to be better than Halloween of 2018. I honestly believe that from what we've seen, from all the kill shots we've already seen in the trailer. There's bound to be more than that. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited for what they could come up with. Those two guys. Yeah. So that's that. Listen, let's move over to DC for a little bit. That's why I'm wearing this hat, if you will. Batfleck has been spotted on the streets of Gotham City on his Bat Cycle, is what we're calling it.
AKA Chicago, right?
Actually,
Really?
Yeah, London, yeah,
Surprising.
UK, right?
Yeah,
It's in
I
UK.
say that because, well, I guess I'm thinking of the Dark Knight trilogy, but when they filmed the Dark Knights trilogy, they were using a lot of Chicago, and I actually
Oh,
got to
on Chicago, yeah.
when I got to take like a bus tour of Chicago, I got to see all the areas of Chicago. It's pretty cool. So
There you go.
nice. Glad to
Well,
know. Okay.
listen, we have footage, not footage. We have photos of Batfleck on the Bat Cycle, driving down the streets of Gotham. You can check out those photos on our Facebook page, or I guess I should just show it now since we're already here.
Mhm.
I can do that. This is probably the best one.
It's not a video, so we shouldn't get copyright flagged
Yeah,
for
we
it.
think that, but
Come
who
on, Showtime is fair use. We're
who
not.
knows?
Yeah.
All right, seeing it there? Nope, not yet. Here we go. Boom! Check that guy out. Listen, don't mind the tiny tire on the bottom left, right?
Hmm.
That's probably not going to be visible when the movie comes out.
They'll cut that with CGI. Yeah. So.
Absolutely. I am loving the design of this bat cycle. It looks sort of heavily armored. Um, it gives me some animated vibes.
A little bit,
The,
yeah.
the animation style, it had that one wheel that was sort of separate. It had sort of the cover to it, which not like this unless that's what they're going for. I don't know. We'll figure it out. They might do something different with that front tire, but other than that, the way that it was armored, um, it's a lot like this, and I do like it. I really do. For anybody who's kind of knocking on the suit, this is not the suit or just the suit. This is the suit with a motorcycle sort of armored outside exterior jacket, as well as a motorcycle helmet. That's not just the cowl and how bulky it looks. That is an actual like protective helmet or headgear that this stuntman is wearing. I don't think it's Ben Affleck. I'm pretty sure it's a stunt guy, which is fine.
Hmm.
Um, we don't need anybody getting injured trying to do a chase scene on this thing. So I am digging it so far. I like the style of the bike. I like the style of the suit. And I can't wait to see what this looks like going forward. JC, your thoughts?
Yeah, this it's a good start too, and I'm trying to just envision the CGI cape in there as well, you know. But it's a good start too. Like you mentioned it, yeah, it does a bit remind me a bit of the animated series Bat Cycle look to it as well. So, and it just makes you realize, oh, today we really haven't seen that from Ben Affleck as far as the Bat Cycle. It's always just been the Batmobile. So
Yeah,
very cool.
just been the Batmobile. He also had the Batplane, or no, what
Oh
do they
yeah,
call it? I don't
Wing,
even.
Batwing probably. I
I
forget
think
what
it
they
was.
called it.
We've seen a lot of things. We've seen the sort of crab-like thing. I forget what they call that as well.
The Nightcrawler.
The Nightcrawler,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
then of course we had the sort of bigger, larger jet from the Snyder Cut. So
Yeah.
he's had a lot of vehicles. Never had a Bat Cycle. So it is pretty cool that they thought this one out. And also, it sort of falls in line with canon, right? He doesn't
Yeah.
have the Batmobile anymore. That thing's been destroyed as of the Snyder Cut. From what we remember, he kind of like threw it at a bunch of parademons while
Yep.
ejecting himself out. So yeah, that thing's gone.
Yeah.
The bat plane or the bat
The
wing.
jet that he had at the end. Yeah. So,
Not
well,
only that,
that
in
survived.
BVS is what I mean.
Oh,
This
okay.
the one that he was flying around what,
The one that
Doomsday.
Doomsday destroyed. Yeah.
He
So,
destroyed that one too. So yeah,
yeah.
that happened too. So yeah, I'm digging it, and it begs a question, right? Um, does he have a bigger role to play than what the websites and the blog sites are speculating? Because if you take a poll, 9 out of 10 blog sites would tell you this is his last hurrah. He's being erased from existence. That Flashpoint will do away with Batfleck, and we will only have Keaton going forward. They say most most blog sites say Keaton is being set up to be the Iron Man or Nick Fury, so to speak, of the DC universe going forward. I think that's a lot of commitment to put on.
The guy that hasn't worn the suit in a while, decades at this point.
I mean, he's in
You
his
know,
is he what's in his 70s now, early
yeah.
70s.
You know, I don't know. I'll believe it when I see the story. That's just what I'll say. It. Everyone's right now. It's a lot of speculation. We don't know really the whole story of it. The reason we knew how the story of the Snyder Cut was going to play out is because it'd been so much revealed over time. But they're still making the movie. There could still be some script changes. There could be some changes as they get into editing. So, and you never know. Warner Brothers may step in and just decide to change everything. They have a history of that. They
Yeah.
just can't stay out of away from things. But I'll believe it when they see it, what they're going to do. And it would, if this, I get if they're going to, I don't know if they would say erase, but maybe they're just going to move it to another Earth, might be the way you would talk about it. But I think Ben Affleck did a great job as Batman. I think
Yes,
people hate on it a lot so much because they didn't like how the first Justice League movie was that we don't talk about. But I think he was a really good Batman. It'd be a shame for them to just erase from existence. Maybe jump to another Earth, but let's not go too far with that.
it absolutely would be terrible to try and erase Batfleck from existence. Even worse than what they did to Star Trek, right? The
Mm-hmm.
franchise, rebooted franchise. They basically rewrote history, all of the original adventures between Spock and Captain Kirk. Never happened.
See,
It was
but well, okay,
all rewritten.
it
A
was.
branch
It
timeline where
basically
in the
was a branch
MCU.
timeline. That's the way they kind of did it. I think the way they did it in the Star Trek films was, yeah, they used the element of time travel,
Yeah,
but they did it in such a way that it preserved the history of the original series, but while keeping this as a new adventure. So,
I'll go
yeah,
with
we
that.
can use like an alternate timeline, and the only link to that was Spock,
Spock.
Leonard Nimoy, Spock Prime, as they call him. So he was the link between the Prime timeline and the new timeline going forward.
It's like every time we have a show, it's always about time travel now.
I get that seems to be all the rage in the geek movies nowadays, isn't it?
I yeah, I dig it. Branch timeline, right? Because
Yeah.
Leonard Nimoy's character Spock still has his memories of
Yes.
the past. They're not gone. If they were gone, then yeah, you erase history, and this is what we have now.
Hmm.
If DC was to have a flashpoint, though, and Barry comes back to his original timeline, and suddenly an elderly Michael Keaton is there, then that would be rewriting history, though,
Yeah.
and that would suck. That
Mhm.
would suck, and I hope DC understands that would be a horrible plan. It does, though. It's more likely he travels to a multiverse, a multi Earth 2 and Earth 3 or something, um, a parallel universe. There you go.
Right.
It makes more sense he would travel to a parallel universe, run into this Batman from the
Mhm.
89, from the Burtonverse, and then probably at the end of the film come back to his original timeline. And then maybe we see Affleck one last time, and
I think it's more Affleck's
they
just
leave it
retiring.
open.
I think Affleck's just retiring at this point.
I don't
You know,
know. I don't know.
well, not
Fandom,
I shouldn't say not Affleck's retiring, but the Bruce in this era, in this timeline is, or this Earth is retiring. He's been at it for so long,
sure.
and he knows how many more heroes. Maybe he feels that the world is safe now, with everyone there. Maybe he takes on a more of a
Steve Rogers
research role
role.
or kind of thing. Yeah, like a smaller role where he's like, hey, here's what's going on. Here's what I'm hearing. Y'all go take care of it, kind of thing. But
You want the happy ending?
I just don't kill the guy.
They
So
pull a Chris Nolan, and Affleck fakes his death, and then he's like sitting at a
yeah.
cafe in
Hmm.
France, sitting across from Selena Kyle. which
All of a
you
sudden,
know
Joseph Gordon-Levitt shows up, and he's the new Batman in
that
the
would be
DCU.
interesting. That would be interesting. Did you know that? I don't know if this is widespread information, but I think Zack Snyder's leading candidate for Selena Kyle in his universe is Carla Gugino.
Where's she from?
She's from Watchmen, the movie.
Oh, okay.
She's from. Don't put me on the spot, man. Let
Got
me look
enough
her up.
stuff.
Look her up. Let me look her up. Uh, Gerald's Game, American Gangster. What have you seen?
I
I
don't
don't know.
know. I got to see pictures of her, I guess. So
The Haunting of Hill House.
no, you know me.
No.
I'm not a horror guy. So
I don't know what you would have seen. Uh, uh, uh.
oh, I recognize the face.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay. I could see it.
Absolutely. Oh, she was in
Mhm.
Sucker Punch.
I have seen Sucker Punch. That was interesting.
She was the doctor.
Okay. Oh, Sin City. I've seen her in Sin City. She was Lucille.
There you
I know
go.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, she would. I mean, listen, if you told me she was Selena Kyle, I believe it. If she was Selena Kyle to this Ben Affleck, I'd buy it. I totally believe it. I'd go with it. No arguments here. That'd be fantastic. I don't even need to see her in the cat suit. I don't. Like, you tell me she's Selena, Bruce, Ben Affleck's Bruce can retire. They can go live happily ever after, whatever, right? And I'll buy it. I won't care if Ben gets his exit. If that's what we're heading towards, I'm fine with it. Just do it. Get it over with. But if they leave it open for something to possibly happen, potentially happen in the future, I'm more than happy with that too. Give Ben his solo project. Doesn't have to be a movie. Doesn't have to be theatrical. I would welcome that, but I hope it's not the end. Hope it's not the last one. And if it
No.
is, I mean, it looks like they're already giving him more to do than what we expected in the first place, right?
Yeah.
So that's a good sign, I think.
Still waiting. I really hope they keep the Grant Gustin cameo secret. Just hey, how'd you come up with the Flash name? I don't know. It just came to me.
It just came to me. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just come up with this stuff.
You got to return the favor with the cameo. Then I kind of hope they have some fun with that.
Absolutely. Listen, there's also a lot of other set photos that we're not going to share because there are spoilers,
Yeah.
and I don't understand why DC let some of that stuff out there. WB, I don't understand why WB's letting some of that stuff out there. Keep it hidden. All right. Lastly, our last topic of the night is actually going to be something that we're going to be doing tomorrow. Probably me, and we'll see who else. But it was announced earlier today that Ghostbusters is going to be sharing a brand new trailer tomorrow. And I'm going to go ahead and we're going to take a look at their announcement. How about that? Huh? Let's do it.
That's it.
That is it.
There's your trailer. We're gonna react to that. No.
That's all I need. That's all I need. Oh, here's what was exciting. That teaser didn't come out until after dozens of Ghostbuster fans were getting emails from the official store stating that a sale was going on. Also in the headline, new trailer. So it's like, what? So yeah, after like a lot of fans were out there on social media talking about a new trailer dropping. Well, then the teaser video comes out, and it just looks glorious.
Yeah.
Ecto One driving down the countryside, like beautiful shot, man. Your thoughts?
I'm just looking at you geeking out over here for this. I need to wait for a long time. So let's see the trailer tomorrow. Please, dear God, just don't spoil much of the movie for us. That's all I'm hoping for. I hate when trailers do that, but yeah, it's nice to finally hear something uh, official because this movie is long overdue. So
Yeah, man.
yeah.
Yeah. So not a big deal. It's trailer tomorrow. Not that excited about it.
Steady's
Got
ready.
my. Yeah. I'm gonna be holding this while I'm watching it. Like,
I know.
Ghostbusters. I'm just kidding. My Spangler Neutrona one here.
Yeah.
What's it called? Uh, I've actually seen some leaked photos, and I don't know where they came from. And they're not spoilery per se,
Mhm.
but I don't know if they're legit, so I haven't shared them with anyone. I don't want to be. I've shared a couple. You might have seen it that I think I know for a fact are real, and then
Mhm.
there's a couple of other ones that I can't confirm because I haven't seen the trailer, I haven't seen the movie, so I'm not willing to share stuff and find out they were just like doctored photos or something. So I haven't shared those.
Yeah, don't share it. Let people be surprised. I think that'd be
No.
good.
I won't. But the
Yeah.
ones that I did share is it's stuff we already know. Muncher, who's sort of the new focal point, friendly ghost of the movie. There's a shot of him, so I shared that with a few of the friends, few of the guys. And you know what? Somebody asked a question earlier on social media. What is the most important thing for us to see from the trailer? And I said some of the original members. And I know that sounds like the wrong answer
Mhm.
because it's July and we are 4 months away from the movie. But now is the time to start generating like huge buzz for the film. I think you can give us less plot in the trailer, less about the story, and give us a shot of Peter, a shot of Ray, or a shot of Winston. You don't have to do all of them together. And I'm not talking like a 10-second clip. I'm talking like just do a quick flash of their faces in a scene. It's just tease us they are there. It's like what is it like? It's like the first time we saw Spider-Man in the Civil War trailer. We saw him right fall into frame, and that was it. And you didn't know why. Well, you kind of knew a little bit why he was there,
Yeah.
but it was just Spider-Man jumping into frame, saying "Hi guys," and that was like the end of that first Civil War trailer.
Mhm.
We just need that. Give us that, so that way the fans can go crazy. You can start generating this buzz for the movie that comes out in 4 months, and you won't have to do a lot after that. You won't need to give us 2 or 3 more trailers, one more at best, and then the fans will be satisfied. I promise you, leading up to the film. But give it to us now because we've been waiting years. It's been so long. Anyways, yeah, please do that. That's all I need.
All
I
right.
think that's just what's best for the movie, not necessarily like what I have to have. I don't have to have that in the trailer, but it would be best for the film to go ahead and start getting this, marketing. Set it on fire now.
Yeah. Get it going. Get the buzz going. So
Absolutely. And listen, we're going to be doing more events leading up to the Ghostbusters film, mostly because I want to, but also because we deserve it. It's been 30 years, damn it, since, well, more than 30, 30, 32, since
Mhm.
the 89 film. I think it's 89.
yeah. Mhm. Whatever year it
So
was.
there you go. So yeah, it's exciting. More to come. We'll be talking uh, hopefully to a bunch of Celebrity Fan Fest guests this week and next. So be sure to follow us on Facebook, YouTube. You can find us on Twitter at CCG underscore podcast. And as always, if you want to send us a message, you can just send us a message on Facebook at Countdown to the Geekcast, and just click the send message button, or email us on the contact page of our website at www.countdowntothegeekcast.com. With the Geekcast, my name is Steady. With me on this episode is the man, the myth, the legend, you know him as JC.
Thanks for watching and listening. Catch us tomorrow on the WrestleCast. It's going to be a fun show. And
It's going to be awesome.
Yep. See you.
Awesome. Have a good night, guys. We'll see you at CelebFanFest. Have a good night. Talk to you soon.